Welcome to Real Life Johnsons with the Commissioner and Dr. T.
Hey,
We
now.
are excited to be back with you together. We've had a number of different shows, but it's our anniversary week at the time of this taping. And so when we do episodes, it's because Real Life Johnsons is about the real life Johnsons, right?
That's right.
It is. We are living our life out loud and talk about things that are important to us and people in our age group and all those types of things. And so it's always authentic and genuine. And so as we're coming up on to our 34th wedding anniversary, yay us.
Yes.
I just thought we come up with topics based on what's going on, what's relevant. And I thought about both of us, and the word relentless came to mind. And so I told the commissioner, the honorable, let's do our next show on being relentless. He was like, okay. And so what does that mean?
Man, it's I had to marinate on it and just understand what I think it means. Mm-hmm. And we want to also, of course, give you all the definition of it. Oppressively constant, what you call
incessant.
Incessant.
So
Oppressively constant. Just like
you're
not gonna give up.
Yeah.
You might get knocked down, but you get up again, you keep moving. And so relentless is really one of the words as we go forth in the second quarter in June as our anniversary month as well. Relentless is so key because we couldn't put a word to it as we were going through it, and we're still going through it in terms of what this journey is and how to make it even better and how do you deal with the ups and downs and all the rounds. But relentless, the word Dr. T came up with was key, was powerful, because I think this is a good way to kick off our anniversary week, but also to kick off as we get ready for the summer. And we started in January, and we gave you all some life moments, some things that we wanted you to do, life be life, and to find your niche on your life board. And we hope that you continue to work on that board and see where you are, because guess what, Dr. T? We halfway through the year.
Yeah, this is the start of the third quarter.
Yeah, third quarter. I don't keep
thinking
up.
Too. No, I just thought about it. I was like, second quarter seemed behind, but I know it's the start of the third quarter.
It's
second half of the year,
the second half of the year.
Yes. June 1st, 2025 at the time of this tape.
Being relentless is all we know that you had to be like to get through, because every year, especially after post-COVID, it's so different. And I'm always looking for relentless people. And I had a chance to speak at a church today, and I just talked about just bouncing back and taking that almost attitude and eliminating the almost attitude and getting it to where you have to go. So thank you for this topic, Dr. T. And as we talk about being relentless, you can go so many different ways. And I'll just start it off is in our relationship, in our journey as parents. What are some of the things that the key nuggets you have about being relentless in terms of just examples or the passion you had and the big dreams that you were trying to pursue and that you couldn't give up?
You said parents or
I don't know, everything in general.
Because when I first heard the word relentless, it is along the lines, and I can't take credit. I was just heard it in my spirit, so I can't take credit. But the definition that you use, incessant, like you are going to get it done regardless. I mean, I had to think about both of our backgrounds. Statistically, we weren't supposed to go to college.
Right.
Statistically, we were never supposed to stay married.
Right.
All the statistics were against us.
Right.
As a couple.
Right.
From the beginning, we were never going to allow statistics to define us or our relationship.
That's one of them nuggets.
And so we didn't have a blueprint, but we know what we didn't want. What we didn't want our life. So, what did you think your life would look like this? We were talking the other day, but I knew that failure was an option and that we weren't going to give up and that he was stuck with me. Right. And so I think what it looks like has changed from when we got together. This is the thing that I think is so powerful about our relationship. we got together. We stayed together very young, right? People are like 34 years. My God, how old y'all got married? We're in our late teens, early 20s. And so we never. I lost my point.
Well, you just wanted to talk about you didn't let the statistics.
We didn't let the statistics define us, and we knew that we were willing to go through what it took, right? Even though it was very difficult or it would be challenging. We had come to a point because of our backgrounds where we had been through so much trauma and stuff at early ages in our lives that whatever I thought we would face, it's like, wait, we done been through some crazy. We done been through Hades and back already. So, and we already know we don't give up.
Right.
And so to me, it was never going to be about whether we stay together. It was going to, thank you, Holy Spirit. I was going to say, I didn't, Lord Jesus.
I'm coming.
I'm gonna come back to it. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I would just say Relentless came early because our first test was when we had to move to Greeley, Colorado, and we didn't have all the money to move, and we were short, very short, not a lot short, but it was big short because everything just moved so fast that summer. I didn't apply to grad school until probably June, and so once I got in July. We were in Champaign, and so we had to make that move. I think Dr. T was still doing summer school, but we made that move. Never been to Greeley in our life. We just researched it. You know, the internet wasn't the big thing then, but we had to find a way to move. And so she had 14 credit cards. I had 14 credit cards. We had 28 credit cards, but they all were almost maxed out. Well, I mean, we didn't know about financial literacy and all those things, but I think the moving van was like $600 and we were like $30, $40 short. So, I mean, we started calling. We couldn't get money from my family. Her grandmother was able to give us some funds to help us to pay for the moving truck. And so we didn't have a car. That truck was everything. We packed up everything and put it in that truck. And then we had the unmitigated gall. We didn't even have first month's rent. So when we got to Greeley, we just knew we couldn't stay in Champaign. Me getting the master's degree, it was a 2-month process, and we were relentless in getting to Greeley, Colorado by any means necessary. And so our first test was, how are we just going to up and pack everything with our credit cards maxed out? And then, of course, you got to pay for, it was like a 20-hour ride. So we had to find a hotel room to stay over. So we had to add all those things in. So we found a way with the help of Dr. T's grandmother. She helped us and she paid the remaining balance so we can get on the road to Greeley. And so I had got all the little maps. That's when you can go to Amoco and order the maps early and they give you a printout of where you have to go. I'm driving, Dr. T following the map. Tierra's in the center of the truck, just sitting there. She thinks she's about 1 or 2 years old. But that was just 8 months. But that was part of being relentless. And I think that was our first track on what you talked about, is that we were not going to fail. And so, you can look back on those moments now. And then when you were in it, it was like it was really stressful, but we did not panic. I mean, we took what we had and moved there. And like I told you, we did not have the security deposit or first month rent. And we found a way to get in there, talk to the graduate department, and they let us move in. And then we were able to smooth out everything over the next couple of months. And so that was amazing on how we did that. We had WIC for our baby. So she was on Similac, so it was easy for her. We wasn't concerned about us if we didn't have to eat as much. But it was that first obstacle just stand out in my mind because that was the first major move that really set the foundation for us, and that was relentless to be able to do that. We didn't pause. We didn't give up. we kept trying to find all these different angles to get from Champaign to Greeley.
See, I think you were worried about that. I didn't care. I did not care about the in between.
Right.
I cared about getting away from our family and making the first start. And I knew that whatever it took for us to get there and stay there, we were going to do it.
Oh, okay.
That's how it was in my mind. The relentless part was I had to graduate because I took a semester off once we had our daughter.
Mm.
So it required for me to, and I did not want to, at the time, we were in Illinois and it was so cheap. School was cheap because we got Pell Grant. You know, we were Illinois residents, so school was cheap. My concern was going from in-state tuition to out-of-state tuition and still graduating on time. That was my concern. I knew we can get there. I knew we could do all that. My thing was how I'm still graduate on time. What am I going to do after I graduate and how I'm going to raise this child?
Mm.
The other stuff, it was like, it's going to happen. And so failure wasn't an option. I felt like we had the odds against us, but we didn't care. I felt like we were smart enough because just how we met, you know, it never was a question in my mind whether we would make it. It would just be like, what does the future look like? And I know it's going to be amazing.
Right.
I think the challenges were, you know, going somewhere new. We're going from an environment, even though where we had a University of Illinois was a huge PWI. We had a nucleus of people where it felt like it was all us, right? Going from that to not that, to being a true minority in a new place so far away from what we were used to. But
those were all parts of being relentless.
Yeah, no, they were part of it. I was like, perspective wise.
You just pick up everything and then move to a place you've never been, in a town that's small and rural.
Right.
To only 12 African Americans in the whole town.
Right.
Going to university of 10,000, only 150
right.
African Americans, and I'm the only African American male in the graduate program, and then you taking a semester off. And then trying to, I forgot about the out-of-state tuition on how high that was. But those were some of the things on why your topic is so important for our real life family is being relentless has to be part of your DNA.
Yeah.
It has to be when you see an obstacle, when you see something that looked like a wall or a barrier, you know you can overcome it, you know, and we're just living testaments and using. What do you think of some of the attributes of being relentless? We know relentless is there. It's what you call it's constant. You don't give up. You're pressing. What are some of the other aspects of being relentless, you think?
I don't know if I could necessarily talk about the aspects, but it's almost for a lot attributes. Of us. It's well, in that regard, I don't know if I can say it because it probably, like for example, what you were describing was relentless, and I was right there with you, but I didn't. It wasn't hard, but I didn't think of that as the challenges. Right. I was thinking of something different.
Right.
So I think it's different from everybody. I think between us, the common denominator is whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You are. This is what I tell Commissioner a lot. Sometimes we come to an impasse with either people or situation. I always tell him, we're not shrinking right now, right? Because I know where we came from and what we've been through. When he comes to an impasse or some go crazy, I'm like, forget that. You know what I mean? We know who we are. We know where we came from. We're not shrinking, right? And I feel like part of being relentless is when you have bulldozed, steamrolled through struggles, and you have come to a point in your life where you are thriving. Sometimes situational circumstances try to set you back either with a question or what somebody doesn't have that they're trying to project on you. And so sometimes I'm challenged because people are like trying to, through a question or what I consider a dig, trying to minimize, some of the things we might have accomplished, or trying to devalue the accomplishments in some way because they haven't gotten it. So part of being relentless is like continuing to push through when you come through a block. It's relentless is like you just keep going. You keep going. You're all of us. This is what I think people forget. Every single one of us is going through something right now. Every single one of us deals with something.
That's right.
It's how you deal with it that makes all the difference in the world. People just think, y'all don't. One thing about us, you ain't gonna know what we're dealing with. We don't just go around broadcasting our problems. It's like we work through it. It's like, okay, it's just life. Life be life. When we talk about it, life be life, and then there's challenges and issues that come that you just have to deal with. You can't stop, cry, or whatever. You got to work through that stuff. You know what I mean? Right. And so I constantly say to myself and to the commissioner, we're not shrinking back from who we are and what we have and what we're doing right now. God brought us here. We are unapologetically who we are. And we try to share that with other people, like be who you are, like thrive, live out loud. And so part of being relentless is going through when other people try to push on you who or what they are or what they are not. Right. And so if I'm bringing all this energy and you're not with me, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go around you, I'm gonna go over you, I'm gonna go through you. Like you're not gonna stop me with your lackadaisicalness or you're not excited or you're not happy. I'm like, hey, I'm doing this great news, whatever. Especially when you ask me, like, they're like, Commissioner, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. And then you tell them all the great stuff, and they're like, oh, okay. I'm still excited about me. I'm still gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean? Moving. So I think it's just bulldozing through every obstacle.
But it's in the DNA.
Yeah.
And it's built in you. That's part of where you're going to point A to point B. It may be a struggle, it may be a barrier, it may be stressful, but that's all built in. It doesn't stop you from moving forward and being relentless.
But the flip side of it too is, have we come to a point where it's like, yo, it's hard? You know, I'm like, do we want to quit? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just whatever, because it was hard in a job or hard in an environment. Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I think that's probably what people part that people don't see, the times where it's just like, this job is going bananas crazy. I want to walk off. And I did do it a few times. The commissioner's like, you don't do that again. And so when you know better, you do better. Thank God it was earlier on, you know. Right. Now I'm like, y'all ain't going to let me mess up my money. And so, yes, we have come to a time absolutely where it's like you feel like quitting, you want to give up, but that was never an option. It was like, why go back? Because I always look at it like, for all the obstacles that we've burned through or run through or, plowed through, that's growth.
Yes.
Every time we plowed through an obstacle, we grew, we learned. It's a process. You build, you learn, you grow. And I think that's why some people just simply aren't successful because they're not willing to keep going when it's tough.
Yeah. And that's part of what we want to just convey to everybody who's listening about being relentless. You have these bumps, you have these bruises, you may have stress, but you don't give up. You keep going. And man, I'm telling you, if you keep going and pressing, all them days out there, Lord, they said they gonna do this, that stuff is all
bump day.
Yeah, they don't, but it's not, it's just a lot of this chatter.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna stop you.
Yeah. Because they really want what you got a lot of times too. A lot of times.
Part of the relentless attitude and part of being relentless in life is that once you build it into your DNA, man, you just keep thriving. You keep moving, like Dr. T said, because we had points in our life. Yes, we had some downs and all that, but we didn't stay there.
Right.
And we got back up as a team and we pressed on. I may have needed some motivation from her. She may have needed some from me, but we just got back up and just kept moving. And that's why I like this point we are in our life now, is that we've seen a lot of the stuff that a lot of people may be going through, or a lot of the small folks or just folks that just want to keep you down. We can see the early signs and the triggers of that.
Right.
And so not to go down that rabbit hole.
You adjust.
So you adjust. And that's the wonderful thing about it, and having a great emotional intelligence, is that you can you feel it, you can pick it up, and you know how to just move around it and just keep going. And that's an amazing thing. And that's what Dr. Z talked about. That's growth. And
I don't think that, thankfully, we had never been like down at the same time. Thank God. You know what I mean? I feel like at certain times when it was just like, this is rough, you're like, come on, girl, let's go.
Yeah.
And when you might have been struggling, I'm like, bump them people, let's go. So thank God. I can't tell time we're both just like, bump it, just forget it. And so that's helpful that we haven't had to, at the same time be pulling. And my shirt say #grace.
Yes.
Grace. We have learned to, thank God, mercy. Learn to relate. You can, man, people need grace, right? Yes. We think about grace in terms of just, forgiveness and things like that. You just have to have grace. Everybody not out to just bring you down. Some people just ignorant, right? Yeah. They don't know no better. You have to show them better. But some people, they just coming for you. It's like you're not getting that much energy, right?
Sure, I see it, and I had to go through that a lot in politics. For sure, that grace you had to have it, because you'll be in rooms with people who didn't want to see you succeed at all, and their whole job was to be there, was to block or was to interrupt and was to disrupt. But you had to be relentless and keep on moving. And you show grace. And it was like call it grace under fire. And God extends it to us. And I thank God for discernment. We have learned to pick up and read the room and read people. We got good at it. We got good at it. You learn that through our student government days working together. You learn that through all the university programming, all the things we had to do. Because people are people, and no matter where you are, those same attitudes, they don't change. It goes from the bully, Anthony Morris, when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, he'd come to school, he was a bully, and he had those same attributes as you go forward. And what you do is like, boom, 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 you just have somebody have a suit on, a tie. And they still use the same attributes and things of a bully. And you just recognize those things, and you just learn how to be relentless in how you pursue your goals, your objectives, and you just don't quit. That's all. And that's the amazing part about our journey in being relentless, is that I just like the awareness part. I got those aha moments where you can see and sit back, and then we're able to share with people. This last weekend we were at an event. We sitting at the table, just enjoying ourselves. Didn't know the person next to us, but Dr. T having a great conversation. I'm talking to the person on my other side. But it was about how do we pour into people to make sure that they have what they need. And because it was like a joyful time and a good conversation. Then going to church. It was a church I hadn't been to in a while, but it's like the people there, once I saw them, we all connected back to each other. We had like a guy who said he's been bedridden for almost 6 months, just turned 81 years old. And I know I've seen him in the community a lot. He said, man, it's my first time back in a long time. I gave him a hug. We talked. And he said, man, I'm going to make sure people know about what you're doing and how you're working out. And you could tell. I said, this was our time to connect. You hadn't been to church in a long time. You back. He said, man, I was just down and out. I was sick. But it just boom. I said, thank you, Father.
And that's the key too. Faith has been a big part in our growth and development. Sometimes people don't talk about that faith portion, that real relationship. With God is so important to be rooted and grounded in the word and scripture. And I think that has been key in us being relentless, because we didn't just pick it up because of what because we saw what we didn't want to do. As sometimes there's been divine influence on both of our lives.
Even before I was even in church. You didn't let the circumstances, and see, faith is what's not seen. And see, I was doing it, and we didn't look at the circumstances. We knew that we were going to be delivered. God was going to be there. Things were going to work out our way. If we just pursue it and keep moving and just speak it and move in destiny and be relentless in where we had to go. And that's what Dr. T says. That's another nugget. She went from relentless to faith, all those things, and grace, faith, grace, being relentless, having a dream, having a goal. Those things have sustained us over time because you work it into your DNA. I'm going to keep talking about that DNA because I think it's important. You got the physical, the mental, and you got the spiritual. All of those things are tied together that makes you who you are today. And but part of it real life family is that makes us stronger is because we're able to share. And I love sharing and helping people to just overcome and to help them to be with all that they can be. Another short story is that I met one of the young ladies who used to have summer jobs, and she used to come every summer. I think she went to Cedar Grove High School. I saw her at this church. She now in Nashville got a bachelor's degree in public health. She didn't know I had a master's degree in public health, but over the years she would come. I'll let her open up the events for me because I wanted youth more involved. Her mom was there. She said, "Well, we got another special guest here," and I met her as I was coming out, and I said, "You right in where you need to be." It was just amazing to see. And she came back every year, and I made sure we had a place to find a job for this young lady so she can be where she was. Now she graduated a couple of years ago. She just going. I said, wow. And the mother was so proud because I think that's her only child, but she's doing it and she's relentless in where she had to go. Now, so that was amazing, Dr. T. I said, wow. And I didn't expect it. Wasn't expecting to see that person, all those things. But just imagine the seeds that you plant, the people you interact with, that grace, that being relentless, all those things play a part in where you're going to go in your future.
Yeah. And don't get it twisted. It's not just, it just didn't happen, right?
No.
We had to put pressure and we had to keep going and we had to overcome in those things. So if someone's watching this and they're like, y'all had it easy. No, we did not.
No.
Because we did not have it easy, we took that background of challenges and difficulty and said we're going to use that as stepping stones. Mm-hmm. And we took the negativity and we took the challenges that we had and used them as fuel.
Right. That's how you make diamonds. Diamonds come by pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get a diamond, start off as coal, but the pressure that's put on that coal turns it into a diamond.
That's right.
Without the pressure, you wouldn't have it. You get coal is cheap.
Yeah.
But once you turn into a diamond, man, it just poof.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. The pressure that was applied, and I think I put something on Facebook a while back about success and pain. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have pain. Mm-hmm. And pain leads to success. Mm-hmm. So those things are tied together. You're not going to have or just all of these hunky-dory stories and all of that. But man, the success you get to see comes out of that pain. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't want to talk about the pain part. But, we had those points along the way in our journey. And we still have them, but it's not, we don't dwell on them like Dr. T said. It's just part of, okay, here we come.
And it's like, why keep talking about them? Talking about them don't help, right? You got to work through it on a positive where you, like, look where you're going. Look ahead. Yeah, we don't ignore it. We dealing with it, but we're not magnifying the problem.
That's right.
Right? We staying focused on what's ahead, what we can control. Because one of my prayers is, God, help me see trouble long before it comes and give me the wisdom to manage it when to get here.
That's powerful.
And so you just have to make up in your mind that you want to succeed and you want to know what that looks like. Mm. And I knew what success did not look like for me and for our family.
We knew we had those examples already.
And we can, I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. We can see it in our daughter, right? Mm-hmm. She's a boss. You know what I mean? I think whatever she wanted to try and stuff she didn't want to try. Every summer you came home with a different thing. She going to try this. She going to try that. I'm like, all right.
I let her go.
Exposure
at different camps, different things, art, drama, science,
all kind of stuff.
We went
medical, everything,
volunteer
creativity, sports, everything, sports, gymnastics, volleyball. She done tried it all. Healthcare,
entrepreneurship is what stuck.
A Grady page, everything, politics, government, everything. You name it, she tried it.
That's right.
But it helps her today because she has an extremely expanded life of reflection on things. And so nothing looks like worldview and nothing looks impossible, right? And it helps her. It has opened her up to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Sometimes you're faced with a problem and you just think it's one way to handle a problem. It's not just one way to handle a problem. So just know it has been a journey. That's why we Real Life Johnsons, because we keep it 100%.
That's
We're
right.
genuinely ourselves. We don't have to or try to be anybody that we're not. But we also want to have real life conversation, let people know you can be authentic, you can be genuine, and you can show people how you have overcome and tell the truth about how things have happened, and then bring topics and guests who can enhance the lives of those who are involved with the podcast and with us. So is just never give up, right? Never give up. You can always find resources of people that want to help. Sometimes it's just about you taking the attitude of posture to pray, or list some things out, or have a network of community that you can go and ask, hey, do you know about this or know about that? Because there's been a lot of times we just ask questions, hey, what do you know about this or what do you know about that? And every time we're looking for opportunity or need something, it has aligned up and come to us, not right away sometimes, but over time, our network has grown, so we're able to ask questions and reach out and get information and look. But we just never gave up. And if we got a no here, we keep going till we got a yes, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and so the true being relentless, is never giving up. For every no, 10 no's you get, you keep on, you're going to get the yes.
That's right.
And what you think success looks like doesn't always look like that. So don't put yourself in a box. And by no means, and don't let people tell you what you can do. One thing that motivated me a lot is people say, well, you can't never do that. I was like, watch me.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Just to encourage all of you, our real life family, is being relentless is just bulldozing through.
This is our anniversary special for you. Relentless.
Yes.
Just stay focused.
Yes.
Keep that in your DNA.
Yeah.
And just know, you got grace on your side. Whatever you put your mind to, no matter what's going on, you're going to succeed and make it. Just keep pressing, keep moving, and plant those seeds. Always give to other people. Don't never hold it all in for yourself.
That's right.
Always be a giver.
Yes.
Make room for that. Just give. It don't have to be money. It could be time.
Right.
It could be advice. It could be just out here just connecting with people, picking up trash. It could be reading to a child. It's so many ways. We don't limit yourself on what they say is giving. What they say is not what it is. It's how you put your time in and how you want to use it. That's what giving is. It's a giving attitude. It's a smile. It's a handshake. It's an encouraging word to people. Yes. Be that person, because that's what real life is all about. And I'm just excited about it with being here with Dr. T on just sharing and I just appreciate her with just pressing through and making this podcast such a reality, and her vision and goals, and us being able to connect together and work it out and just make it happen. But we want the best for you. So keep that lifeboat going. We're now in June. We're halfway through the year. And now it's still time for you to accomplish every goal, dream, and aspirations you set out to be this year. And just take it. Take a little bite at a time. Little bite at a time. Get those next 6 months in. Just take a little bite, and guess what happened at the end? You're going to have one of those goals on that board accomplished. And then you just lead to another goal next year.
That's right.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's right.
And that's what Relentless is all about.
That's right.
Incessant.
Incessant.
I'm sorry. Oppressively constant.
Oppressively constant. Like you're going to bulldoze through that thing. You're going to be able to do it. And so we are living testimonies of what a relentless mindset is, what being relentless is all about. Here at Real Life, we're all about real life. And this episode was focused on being relentless no matter what. So
that's right.
Stay tuned until next time. It's been our pleasure to be